Hello again, I'm Coyote Jack, and well, the UK has started finding money, thousands of pounds, to Fortune, and Fortune has just responded to go fuck yourself, and here's the legal way. So by each day passing by the UK law firm and standards, they're getting fined a lot of money, and they are going to try to demand to the US to well step in. I hope they just ignore fucking UK. You know, Rice have all those tariffs on them. The UK gets few legal response from Fortune as social media site refuses to pay online safety fines. So we know where it is. Let's keep to this. Under the OSA, Ofcom can leave penalties up to greater of 18 million pounds or 10% of global revenue, and escalate with additional measures. Those powers are not theoretical. The regulator has already moved into enforcement phase and has begun issuing notices tied to information request compliance. For US firms, the headline isn't the only size of potential fines, it's the extraterritorial mechanisms that make non-UK companies answerable to a UK regime. Yeah, if this is going to be a diplomatic issue that UK should immediately lose and be laughed. Hell, just like when I was talking to my father, that I got the chance to talk to him recently. We were talking about the UK and and even historically a lot of countries that did shitty stuff like Soviet Union and World War II Germany. But what actually caught me off guard is when he mentioned England, the UK. How can that be so fucking ghoulish? Because of the Enigma code? What's his name? Alan Turing, only because he was homosexual, a closet homosexual that didn't do harm to anyone, helped to the US and the West in general from the hands of Nazi Germany, and he got castrated, literally castrated for just existing and his preferential sexual desires. And being all the time private because that guy was professional and he really wanted to do something good back in that historical event. So yeah, the UK man, yeah, he's everyone here is just catching on how fucking UK is ghoulish, man, and stupid. Now, a battle is here over whenever or not the US companies will consider First Amendment protections in the United States to satisfy the UK. Fortune legal team says Ofcom intends to start with a £20,000 penalty and daily fines, and that any effort to collect or domesticate those penalties in the US will be fought in court. Reporting also indicates outreach to the current US administration for diplomatic support, framing the dispute as defense of an American speech norms against foreign regulator. You know, also what we have seen recently, yeah, they should, if they're going to try to force them with the regulations, and that's what they try to do. They want to, oh, we all are in the same page, right, mate? No, fuck you. But sadly, with what we have seen from the Department of Homeland Security, yeah, you still have corrupt organizations in the US that they only want to, well, keep their paycheck alive, and they pursue these fucking fake crimes such as that guy from Ireland. Yeah, I hope the rest of the U.S. administration don't do the same shit as the DHS. Just saying. That combination litigation plus diplomacy is designed to create precedent that other U.S. platforms could use. The UK Office of Communications has released a notice for Fortune with intention to impose a £20,000 fine plus daily penalties. Fortune lawyers dropped a response, and that response is wait for it until it actually loads. Yeah, here it is. A statement regarding Ofcom reports the provisional notice Fortune Community Support LLC. So, according to the press reports, the UK's Office Communication Ofcom has issued a provisional notice under the Online Safety Act, alleging a contravention by Fortune and indicating an intention to impose a penalty of £20,000 plus daily penalties thereafter, excuse me. 4chan is a United States company incorporated in Delaware with no established assets and corporations in the United Kingdom. Any attempt to impose or enforce a penalty against 4chan will be resisted in U.S. federal court. And yeah, I think we already went for this. And look at this one. Hereafter, the big recent this is far larger than one rogue American company taking into UK. Precedent for the US entertainment and communication platforms. If a US court declines enforce OSA penalties or constraints of constraints, streamers, social networks, game communities, podcast hosts, and creator platforms will have a clear playbook for resisting extraterritorial breach rules, which, yes, resist these fuckers. Yeah, here's my dick, bitch. Conversely, if the UK can successfully pressure app stores in ISPs or payment processors to cut ties, the lesson for American companies would be to build for jurisdictional fragmentation, including UK-only product roles and heavy compliance overhead. Yeah, they're going to say, you know what, we are going to arm our legal teams in the future just to slap the UK. Just like they love cops for a reason. The distribution shock points risk. Many US companies don't transact directly with the UK regulators, but they all rely on gatekeepers Apple, Google Store, Search, AdTech, Car Networks. The OSA structure explicitly contemplates using those choke points, which can have immediate commercial impact without ever winning a judgment against the underlying US service. For ad-supported publishers and about services, especially that threat is material. And we started with Apple, forcing them to drop the encryption data, and they did, and they backtracked it, but only because the US stepped in, and especially because it was obviously a fucking threat. It was a hazard. Taking away encryption, all that identity theft. When you have the app, the bank app in your smartphone, when you are logging yourself to check your account, you are, well, giving an encrypted data. Or you're just leaving a non-encrypted data also. Well, no, I have to correct myself. Your username and your passwords and the key. Yeah, a key file that is used to verify, oh yeah, is this guy in this device and not other one trying to log in the same device at the same time, just for security measures. And if that one gets stolen and then replicated in another device by those identity theft guys and the hackers, you are fucked. Just saying. Global compliance cascade. The UK is not alone in moving in these directions. Its enforcement calendar signals a durable shift towards regulator-led content risk management. Companies that produce or host content, film TV streamers, interactive entertainment, live audio, and chat apps will face rising pressure to harmonize policies to the strict markets or accept geo-specific features and catalogs. The start of the OSA enforcement window underscores that this isn't hypothetical anymore. We saw that even Spain people have sharing how they're getting censored by UK standards. You don't have to like 4chan to see why this case matters. The OSA goals especially around the child safety are broadly popular, but how those goals are enforced will determine whether a foreign regulator can impose penalties, policy changes, and the platforming tactics on US companies that create and distribute speech. If Ofcom's approach finds plus pressure on distribution partners, prevails uncontested, the practical limits of the First Amendment of American media companies may be increasingly determined outside of the United States. That's why the 4chan fight is important. It will help define the balance between legitimate safety objectives and sovereign over US communications and entertainment speech. And we have this graphic here. Average time spent per day by US adults users on selected social media platforms. Also for the rest of the world, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Reddit. And I was watching some guy that is against also he's in the UK and he's against all of this madness and call it out Starmer. He mentioned in TikTok the staff members left the UK. There is no one left. So even when there is actually some moderation that should be and some capacity, yeah, it's going boogaloo. Or probably TikTok is expecting to leave the UK, and with a lot of businesses. If they leave, yeah, let them find out why they should have never have done any of this shit in the first place. The outcome here was just shape one message board's fate. It could set the operational baseline for how every US platform that reaches UK users streaming videos, music, games, social, podcasts, even payment-enabled fan communities must behave. Watching this case closely is not endorsed, it's risk management. Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, that's why people are talking about 4chan again, primarily because all those important points are at play here. If 4chan is the one to step in the fight, if they are letting them die in that hill, yeah, the other hills for all those companies is going to be the same. And yeah, the internet as we know, yeah, is going away, and all of this Orwellian bullshit is going to be at play. That's it. Thanks for watching, and please take care.